Hello and welcome to another Owl Nights review. I'm Judge. Today I'll be reviewing the First Descendant from the perspective of a casual gamer, assessing whether the game is worth playing casual. The First Descendant is a new online title from the Korean developer and publisher Nexon. It's free-to-play sci-fi co-op shooter RPG available on all platforms. It's worth mentioning again, as it is quite significant in the context of this game, that it is a free-to-play game. In gaming terms, this means you can download the game at no cost, but that doesn't necessarily mean the game is entirely free. The game presents a mix of good, the bad, and the familiar. I won't follow the exact order, but I will start with the rocky launch, which seems to be a standard in gaming these days. As games roll out, issues often arise. At the time of this review, it's been about 10 days since the game's release, and I began playing about 4 days after the July 2nd launch. My attempt to play was initially thwarted by server issues and maintenance to resolve the problem. On my first day, I couldn't log in, and when I finally did, I was disconnected 7 minutes into the tutorial mission and couldn't return until the next day. I had to restart from character selection and redo the tutorial. Nexon acknowledged the inconvenience with an apology and compensated the players. The game being free, it lessened the frustration to not being able to play right away. The story and voice acting are commendable, but they fail to maintain interest beyond the initial interactions. As a result, I found myself skipping through dialogues and even some cutscenes. This isn't to say they aren't visually stunning and well crafted. It's just that, personally, I don't find them captivating enough to engage with beyond grasping the overarching narrative. For those familiar with Warframe and Destiny, this game will feel quite similar. The visual execution is outstanding and the gameplay is exceptionally smooth. The fluidity of the game deserves praise. The speed with which one can switch between maps, missions, and team up with others is exemplary, a feature from which other similar games could benefit. I would even venture to say that if Destiny incorporated this system, it would greatly enhance the game. Seasoned players of shooter RPGs will inevitably draw comparisons between this game and Warframe. The character system allows for the construction of new descendants piece by piece. However, the paywall implement makes it a prominent feature that's hard to overlook. Paywalls in free-to-play games can seem extreme to those who don't fully grasp the system. After a few days of play, I have unlocked 3 playable descendants, whom I did not have to pay for. I can switch between them quite swiftly in-game. Interestingly, even when toggling between characters, the loadout I had remained available and consistent, no matter which character was active. Worth noting, it takes 15 hours to build a character, not including the time it took to collect the parts to build them. The game system is remarkably deep and would require considerable time to fully elaborate and explain. From the perspective of a casual gamer, there's a substantial amount to absorb and engage with in this game. The extent to which you delve into it depends entirely on the player. The current level cap is 40, after which, akin to Diablo's prestige system, your character can further develop through improved gear and stats, effectively advancing your character beyond the initial cap. From the perspective of a casual gamer, this game is an enjoyable time sink for those who like shooter RPGs. It's challenging in today's gaming landscape not to compare games and use those comparisons to label them good or bad. Liking Italian food doesn't necessarily mean one enjoys all Italian dishes. It's entirely plausible to have preferences. Claiming that repetitiveness makes a game bad overlooks the purpose of game loops and their role in engaging players. Games like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat are repetitive, yet their player base continues to play and strives to improve. This game is no exception. It's well crafted and has the potential for growth. Thank you for checking out this review. I'm Jojo from Owl Nights Media. Don't forget to explore our other reviews on YouTube and tune into our podcast, Gaming at the Round Table. We're excited to kick off Season 2 soon, featuring some major announcements.